For me personally, I think we should go back to the old Super Rugby.
Jy breek nou to the convicted.
We said the same thing. We love.
I watched you guys lose against Japan in Japan. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, he was 2015, I was 2011.
Well, wat jy nie 20 was jy in Sandbank?
I was 2011.
Het jy ook die kat gemaak? Oh, shame.
Ja.
And welcome back, Rackers. It is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't know which day you are watching your number one rugby podcast. Welcome to episode 99.
99.
I'm going to repeat myself. Episode 99. Okay. This is Behind the Ruck. This is your number one rugby podcast. And this podcast is proudly supported by SuperSport Bet, okay? Download the app, okay? Make the switch to SuperSport Bet. Get your skin in the game. And now sit back, relax, and have a brilliant time with me and my partner. If this is the first time you guys are watching, you don't know who is the short guy, and you see, oh, the short guy's got some love handles. Yep, he's short. He's round. He bounces off the ground. It's Rudy Page. It's Rudy Page. And next to me, I've got
you want to be bodybuilder, Juan de Jong in the house. It's showtime. It's 99. Huh?
It's episode 99. Buddy,
it's coming in hot.
We're in Bloem, Vegas. It's nice and cold in Bloem, but we're in the house of Free State Rugby, okay? We're in the Macron Sports Hub store in the Free State Stadium, and today we will be making sure that the Cheetahs Rugby get all the flowers that they deserve, okay? Ons, Behind the Ruck, sal nie van die Free State Cheetahs vergeet nie.
Nee, 100% nie, hey. It's so fantastic to be here. I mean, the history when it comes to Bloemfontein or even the Cheetahs as well is fantastic. I mean, they got a special part for us in our hearts because we need a big five when it comes to rugby. But we're looking good, eh? You're looking good.
I love it. It's just Ricky Schroeder in his episode said, Paige, don't wear white. It sits too tight around the hips. But today I don't care about what I look like because today it's a much bigger. No, if it's a tie, I still feel terrible. Okay?
Let's not get there. You know what it is, eh? What to expect on Behind the Ruck, okay, guys? It's going to be a lekker episode, episode 99, okay? It's results time. We got to see what's happening, okay, from the past weekend. And then we also got the bounce player of the week coming up. And then, hey, Frans Steyn, the GOAT. Huh?
2 World
Royalties in the house. The
2
king,
World Cups.
The GOAT, okay?
2 World Cups.
I can't wait for this one. It's going to be interesting. So sit back, relax. It's showtime on BTR, episode 99 in the building, eh? Partner, let's get to the fixtures, eh? Must we get there?
Partner, before we get to the fixtures, we have to get to the results first. There was exciting rugby this past weekend, okay?
I don't want
the Vodacom Bulls are through to the semi-finals. Are through to the semi-finals. The Vodacom Bulls. Waar bly die Stormers? Hulle bly stil. Waar bly die Stormers? Hulle bly stil.
Okay, let's get to the results. It was Friday night, Glasgow versus the Stormers, 36-18. We got Bulls versus Edinburgh, 42-33. Leinster versus Scarlets, 33-21 as well. And then Sharks versus Munster, 24-24. Kiki.
You want to kick it off Friday night? Quickly, we don't have to be long. I know we want to forget.
Okay, let's
For me, very surprising result. Stormers losing at Glasgow. I know it was an away game. The Stormers went a whole week. They spent 7 days in Glasgow preparing for that game. Which for me was... I didn't see that type of performance coming. I thought Glasgow was excellent. The tries they scored was brilliant. I would have just liked Dobbo to find a way to pick Mani Lebok and Shasha in the same team. Unfortunately, then it would have meant that Shasha would have played 12, which for me, I would have thought it would be brilliant. Having 2 playmakers partner in the same team.
In the same team, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. I mean, because you're obviously bringing up as well, but there's a lot of injuries that was there as well, and it's always tough to have those 4 players and put them in the same team. And I agree with you, and I've said it a couple of times, that Mani is the gel between the backs and the forwards, and just putting the team around. But it's I mean, even the 6-2 split hammered us a bit as well.
Yeah, but you guys must stop using excuses. It's the whole year, the Stormers in every newspaper is always about injuries. This guy's out, that guy out. No one spoke about Hugh Jones that he was out. And there, Jack Dempsey that was out. So, seatbelt op injuries, man, Parry.
It was a tough one on Friday night. I mean, Dobbo said he felt good leading up to this game. And I mean, looking at last week in the quarterfinals as well, we thought this is maybe the game that we can get one over them.
I believe so. I really. And look, for me, the reason why I wanted Dobbo to pick Mani and Sasha in the same team is just for the reasons. In the past 4 years, Mani has been the guy that's taken Stormers rugby to that next level. He's been one of the best URC players for the team. In the first year when they won it, it was back on his performances, the way he kicked in crucial, high-pressure BMT moments. Obviously, unfortunately, the one they lost against Munster at home, that season he was also simply sensational. So find a way, Stormers rugby, to fit all 4 of those exciting players in one team. I don't have the answer, but I know you got to make it work.
You got to make it work, yeah. And I mean, the other boys made it work as well. The Bulls made it work and the Sharks made it work. And they're facing each other as well.
Cornel het gesê, partner, come on!
Come on! Come on!
Come on!
Yeah, it's good to see South African teams. And hopefully we can get it in the final at home.
We will get a South African team in the final.
In the final, yeah, hopefully at home. If Glasgow does do their job as well, yeah. But exciting times, and we'll see. I can't wait to see what Francie has to say about the fixtures as well.
But before we get there, Vodacom Bulls bounce play.
It's time to play the bounce. Hey guys, this is made just for you by BrightRock, the associate sponsor of the Vodacom Bulls and the DHL Stormers. I'm going to throw it into the winning corner. Vodacom Bulls.
This one was very difficult because the Bulls had 44 reasons for me to struggle with the BrightRock Bounce Player of the Week moment, but mine goes to the number 10, the guy steering the ship, the captain of this Titanic that didn't sink. It has to go to Keegan Johannes.
Hot indeed, eh?
Okay, guys, and for me, he kicked well, he played particularly well, but I like moments in the game, stuff that makes me get out of my couch. And this past weekend, the try that he scored in the left-hand corner, where he shouldn't go, took the pace on, beat the guy one-on-one with his of his right foot, and then he had the gas throw. He had enough jet fuel, he had enough unleaded, he had enough traction, he had enough 4x4 to take himself over the try line. Keegan Johannes, funny memory.
And the bounce player for the DHL Stormer is Siabelo Senatla. He was incredible. I mean, yes, he got the yellow card, but the way he stepped up, I mean, he scored that fantastic try where he put it on the boot and straight through, because that was a crucial part to get us forward. And also when Mani Lebok put him into space, down the touchline to score 2 tries in a tough outing was incredible to see. But yeah, love to see the boys getting the bounce players of the week.
Yes, excellent. Well, congratulations, boys.
Congratulations, boys.
And Stormers players, I'm addressing you. Okay? My partner choke amper aan the kant. Okay? Make it next season, I know we're going to be make it better and easier for the BrightRock bounce player for my partner to select, okay? Because the Bulls, obviously, because we're second on the log, everything was kind of...
They made it easy for me, but this game didn't make it easy for me.
Okay.
Enjoyable times. But let's get to him, okay? We were here, we did the effort to come all the way to Bloem Vegas to see the legend himself, the GOAT himself, royalty.
2-time World Cup winner.
Yes, royalty indeed.
2-time World Cup winner.
Frans Steyn.
Number 1 rugby podcast.
Here we go. Okay,
let's go.
Up next, Frans Steyn.
Come on!
Come on! Ooh, Ruckus. Okay, our guest won't like it, but he's Springbok royalty, a double rugby World Cup winner. Can you believe it? And he's also the Cheetah King. I will say it, okay? And the GOAT as well. The one and only in the building. Are we lucky or not? It's the one and only Frans Steyn in the building. Francie, are you good?
Good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yes, we're excited. For Francie, we make time. Okay?
No.
We come to Bloemfontein.
Ruckus, we had to get onto the plane. There's only 2 flights in and out of Bloem, okay? And if you blink, you can miss either one of them. But the importance of making sure that we speak to the right people, that is why we are the number 1 rugby podcast. En vandaag is name lekker. It's a groot naam.
Frans, you gaan het, how's things with you? Obviously in preparation. SA Cup is done now, or you guys have an off-season, pre-season? What's going on?
Yeah, we had a 2 weeks break, and the guys got back on Monday and starting to get the bodies back to try to get them to perform again. So this week, you remember the times we got back from pre-season, tightness and stiffness and all of that. Dis als. En onthou is winter here, so that feels hard at the moment. So so we've got 4 weeks of this, and then Griquas, and then Georgia.
Okay, lekker.
Exciting. And time off, Frans, what did you do? Are you a golfer? What are we doing in holiday?
I didn't have a holiday yet.
Okay.
We got some... We try to make new plans.
Okay.
Summit Pioneer, sulke goeters. So, but the holiday is gonna come one day.
Okay.
Dan gaan ek 'n lang holiday, hoor, 'n groot holiday.
So baie veel koekies gehad.
Ja, nee, nie nou nie, maar hulle kom.
Hulle kom.
Ja.
Yeah, man. If we look forward now, the Currie Cup, exciting times as well. Obviously, the SA Cup just to qualify, it was a up and down SA Cup for you boys. But the Currie Cup, looking forward to that as well. How's the boys feeling? Is there any injuries? New signings coming in?
Yeah, I think the 1st of July, the new contracting cycle or whatever.
Yes.
So then the new guys will come in. There is a couple of new signings that we really looking forward to have them at the Cheetahs. We're excited about it. But preparation-wise, it's going to be tough. We want to play more, man. We need to...
More games.
Yeah.
No, not games. We've got enough games in this
Is it?
year.
Oh.
We've got trouble with the resting period at the moment.
Okay.
We're supposed to have 8 weeks off, and now Georgia game came from the blind side.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we couldn't do that. So later on in the year, we will have troubles with this 8-week thing. We never had 8 weeks.
Is that
it's 4,
compulsory
5.
for the players now, Frans?
Yeah, so you have to have 3 weeks off or 4 weeks off, and then 1 week walking, and then the second week, I don't know, it's something like that. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm happy we didn't have 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me after 8 weeks?
No, that's too long.
Playing, I would be.
That is way too long.
groot,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, yes. So, and you're obviously back at the Cheetahs now, coming back with
That's what
overseas
ik wil praten, ja.
for Stinkt as well. How's things with the Cheetahs for you personally? I mean, you've got a different role than playing from a couple of years ago. You're in directing job as well. You're doing the head coach. You're running around. You're the brainstorm of the Cheetahs rugby. How's things in terms of your planning and also looking forward to where the Cheetahs wants to play and wants to go?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. I think, John, you played overseas as well. I think people don't realize how scarce money is in the rugby business at the moment. I mean, you look at England, how many clubs have got bankrupt over the last couple of years and stuff like that. So finding competition is not just going to happen. You have to look at Saru, their expenses. They don't want more expenses. So it's tough, but every day is an opportunity for us to find something and to work to get something going. Or you never know. We might start a new competition. So let's see what happens.
And Francie, for you returning home after you've played your rugby abroad, does that showcase the love you have for this union, for this franchise, for Free State Rugby?
Yeah, I think so. I never thought I would be here where I am today. No, I thought I was going to be on the farm and here, bietjie brandewyntjie and braai and I don't know how this happened, but I'm here because I love this place.
Yeah.
I think when I was at the Sharks and the end of my contract was just coming up, I always asked Harry to just phone the Cheetahs, just to find out. Ek wil net
Circle of life.
Ja, want when we started, I mean, the Cheetahs was also always the lekker place.
Yeah.
Everybody enjoyed it when they come to play rugby in Bloemfontein. So I think over the years we've lost that. That's something we're really working hard to get that back, man. This must be the lekker place in
Where
South
you want
Africa
to be.
rugby. Yeah, just to enjoy rugby. I think success is different to all people. I think that for me, if I can get that right, that would be then I'm done. If I can get it back to the place where people want to come and enjoy rugby, man.
Yeah, fill up the stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for you retired. I mean, you retired, I think 34 or 35, I can't remember what it was. But also saying that the next day or your next chapter was directly into the director of rugby. How did you find that
switch.
segment? Yeah, to go from with the boys to collar and tie.
Golf him.
Ja, nee. Ek het nooit collar and tie nie. Nou. Ja, it's a kort broekie. But it was quite tough because, you know, like you, obviously there's some players you closer to, wat jy saam mee braai. Jou vrou kuier saam met hulle vrouens and then the next day it's done. You can't do that anymore because I think I want to be fair to each and every guy. As soon as you start outside just braaiing with one guy or drinking a Coke with one guy, it's not fair to the other guys because there's mixed feelings. So that changed quite. It was tough. The start was tough. But I think it was worthwhile. I'm happy now.
And Frana, when I think to myself, the player Frans Steyn was, it was off the cuff, it was
physical,
special things. Now you're a coach. Is that not difficult for you to translate the way you played the game and the way Frans Steyn saw the game and that fearlessness that you played your rugby with your whole life, and now you're a coach where there's, do I put a kind of a seatbelt on a player to say, we stay in this structure, we do this, X, Y, Z. How was that transition for you from the type of player you were especially to now coaching?
Yeah, I think I was lucky with being with Rassie in the box squad at the end. I was more senior guy, so I was more the guy just, I need to be solid.
Okay.
So I think it actually helps me out at the moment. I want the guys to do that as well. Like Pioneer hier, klomp brove ideetjies. They've got ideas and they want to do this and they want to do that. But then as well, being in the box set up at the end where I had to be the guy that don't make mistakes and be solid and whatever, that also at the moment, I think it's going to give me a good feel for when we can try stupid stuff. But it doesn't bother me. But at some stage, we just need to do the basics and whatever. So we'll see how it goes. There's going to be mistakes somewhere.
Yeah.
But,
Has the game changed a lot for you as well? I mean, you played in the era with the, 2007, we made your Springbok debuts and stuff like that. But has the game changed for you in terms of way back and being technical and how the guys are operating now and what you see these days in between the all field?
I don't think the game, the way it's played, but I mean, you always get coaches that's good analytically, if you can call it like that. You get good coaches, and then you get a Dick Meer that's more with the boys and more trying verstaan. So I think the biggest thing for me is the personnel have changed. When I started and you shouted at somebody when I was young, hier soms so dan vloek iemand jou gou dan sê maar weer bam. Where these days is not going to work.
And
it's not the way forward.
Did you treat, when you played as a player, how did you see the game? Was it just free for all? Did you kind of like the technical detail of people telling you, listen, you do this, kick there? Or did you just enjoy yourself? And
it depends. When I was at 12, I liked the more physical game plan type play. And when I was at 15, I enjoyed doing stuff. Freedom.
Bietjie freedom.
Lekker. Belangrijk.
It's baie belangrik. But Francie, before we move on to your life and the way you played the game, I still want to, boys, if we could just stay with the Cheetahs a little bit. Cheetahs rugby.
The love.
Where it's currently in the future of Cheetahs rugby. If you could take a magic wand and they spell genie, what would the future look like for the Cheetahs franchise and for rugby in Bloemfontein in the next 5 years?
If I can get whatever I want.
Yes, if you could have a magic wand and Francie can do whatever.
If I could keep the Free State rugby players, like the schoolboys, the best that we have in the Free State, if I can keep them here, this place will be fine. At the moment, we're struggling to keep the best in the Free State. I'm not talking just about Grey. We've got a young Lucy that's playing SA under 20 that comes from Voortrekker in Bethlehem.
Yes,
So stuff like that. I mean the Free State.
Yeah.
Money-wise, I don't need 120 or 150 or how many. I don't know how much they spend. That's not what I need. If I can get 10 million more on the budget and then 3 million more on the juniors. I think the thing here, we don't waste money. If we contract people, they need to play. They need to come through. I think that's a big thing. We don't need 10 guys in one position.
Yeah. And the target is as well, is the target URC because we want the big five like back in the day in the competitions and stuff? Or you kind of think maybe a Super Rugby something different, but it's also international feel of it? Or?
So the last couple of months, I realized that the URC is quite a big thing, especially guys want derby games and all of that. For me personally, I think we should go back to the old Super Rugby.
So that is...
You preek nou to the convicted.
We said the same thing. We love
ding.
I just think there was something else. It was something different. I think the young guys of today definitely misses out on... If you think on when we went on tours and 4 and 5 week tours, it was one tour. It's not every second week on a plane. A stupid thing. This new calendar that we are in. If you have kids, you never have off.
Yeah.
You can't go on holiday. When do you go on holiday? Because
competition here and this year.
this day, and then December, what normally we went away on December.
That was your festive.
Now you have to play. Like I remember when I got to France the first time, I had to play on Sundays and Sundays. My dad was angry because you don't play on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Now we freaking play over Christmas and all of that.
Yeah.
You train on Christmas or New Year's.
Even the Curry Cup
that's the
as well
thing.
is going to be on Sundays, Sunday games and stuff like that. So that is...
That's excellent. And Ruckus, when you guys are watching this episode, I know Frans is currently director of rugby, so he's saying stuff with a
Collar
very
tie.
diplomatic
Yes,
collar tie.
Yes.
Ons twee kan ons praat.
Ja,
Ons is los, okay? Ons twee kan praat. Maar hoe ek voel is, how I see Cheetah Rugby again is, I would love the stadium to be packed again. I played 2016 Curry Cup final here. Ruckus, ek het verloor, okay? Coach Franks het ons in die bulle, so pakkig hier buite. But that is how I see freestyle rugby. Die rooi sokkies, having the bikes out there, having superstars that play, that is in contention, hier Engels, kom terug. That in contention for Springbok selection again. Verstaan jy? And if we can just, I don't know how wie die slim man daar buite is, let's do our part for rugby and freestyle, okay guys?
But the calendar is as well, this rugby, it's a lot, because then you're in a URC, then in Westic Champions Cup, then it's Challenge Cup, and it's all over the show. But I mean, for you, Super Rugby, we had the love of Super Rugby, because it had the Curry Cup as well.
Yeah.
If Super Rugby invited the Cheetahs as well, and they say, listen, you can play over, would you take it on? And
yeah. No, definitely. I think we're open to anything at the moment. But I think Sarah has got a massive job to do there. So you hit the end when Sarah decides you're in or you're out. Then, so I hope from us they need to start backing us and trying to help us to get into Super Rugby. Otherwise, we're not gonna get in there. But I mean, it was lekker toere, man.
Sure, Super
It
Rugby
was good, and then you playing
Beach.
off. Ja, maar jy wil nou net weer goed kyk, man. No, but I mean, it was especially with New Zealand guys coming here as well. You remember how many people used to be. I mean, the New Zealand teams have a massive support in South Africa.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the Crusaders and the Blues as well, and you played like 16, 17 games, then you have a break, and then you can focus on the Curry Cup. Because if you look at Curry Cup today, the stadiums is kind of empty. It's like back in the day. Back in the day, if you play semi-finals and finals, it's full house, and it's the emphasis there. But for you, do you think there should be relegations when it comes to URC? Should there be relegations when it comes to Curry Cup?
Yes.
Where do you put yourself?
Sorry. I said yes.
Yeah. You must deserve to be there.
And before France answers, this is my point. Rugby in France works because every game is a consequence. So if you, let's say you just qualified, you breathe, or some of the smaller clubs that come up to top 14, you do everything in your power to stay up. Because if you don't stay up, boom, it's afproducteur too.
Yeah.
And that makes every game so much more entertaining. Daar's ietsie op die lyn.
Yeah.
Daar is as jy nie jou kant bring nie, is poef. Hy is toe gaan tyd. So if I'm sitting and I'm saying, if the Lions did so poorly that they didn't qualify, they are the fourth best team in South Africa, consequences.
Curry Cup team must.
Someone goes up.
So one of the Curry Cup must fight out.
Exactement. But continue.
Yeah, what is your feels when it comes to this? I mean, qualifying maybe for a URC, is it something that kind of can work for the Cheetahs?
I don't know. If we, like I said earlier, any competition will be good. But I mean, how does the qualification going to work? So the guy that ended last is going to need to play against us.
Against the winner of the Curry Cup or something.
Okay, but didn't the Lions played in the final last year?
Yes. How does it
in
work
the Curry
then?
Cup? So it's always, I don't know. I think it's too much. They must go, listen, Free State, you, Griquas, and Griffins make a team. Pumas, you make a team. Boland make a team. Let's throw all the under-20s into that competition. All the best under-20s, under-19s, 21s into that competition that don't play at the bigger unions, because there is a bunch load of guys. Best under-19s, they've got 4 games. 4 Cheetahs versus Sharks, or 4 games in a year.
Yeah.
So you know when we were young, when you're young, you need to play rugby. So I mean,
Only way to get better.
I think if it was me, that's what I would have done.
And Cheetah's signing, I saw you signed Makaza and Tokozo, the star of the Varsity Cup.
Yeah.
What was the thinking around that? And is there more signings coming? And
Yeah, so we got, I think the last couple of years, the previous year, we got a lot of Shimla guys over. They won. I think there's a lot of rugby players in South Africa. And I think not all of them get an opportunity like Ntokozo. How long has he been playing Varsity Cup? Forever. So firstly, we needed a kicker.
yeah, and he can, huh?
We needed a kicker to kick for poles. After Pani stopped, we were struggling a bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I came in here once and Pani said, listen, that guy, I enjoy him. And then the conversation starts and then I think we're all excited for him to be here.
Power Ranger, huh? He can do everything. As fast as kick, as physical. He's got it all.
How does he go?
Fast as kick.
Okay. But while we got France here and we're talking about Super Rugby, URC, the comparisons, I would love to get his take on it. So Gio Appels, when he came on the show, he had this take that we will only know what the URC players are like after this current crop of Springboks. Because all the boys that are currently playing for the Springboks all had their initiation in Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Everyone played Super Rugby. So after this current crop of Springboks will be the first time that we will see if the URC basically
Players
is a good competition or not. Because the players after the cycle is all that came through
The
URC
URC
rugby.
2028, yeah.
What do you think about this take on that and do you think it's accurate?
I've never thought about it like that, but it will be interesting to see. Dat gaan flip and snaaks wees.
Yeah, because 2028 is when your Sias and all these guys will be 36, 37, 38. and will
Chesland,
retire.
so he came through a playing style. Now we're going into a maul and kick chase and eyeballs and all of that. So it will be interesting to see the guys coming through, how their skills developed and all of that. It will be interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. And what's your thoughts on the youth of the junior players coming through, looking at 2028? Do we have enough guys that can take even Etzebets in the Siya Kolisis, the talent in South Africa, in the URC?
You know how it is, John. You think people will be missed and then you stop and then the next day the wheel just keep on turning. So I think currently with Rassi and them there, they've got a brain trust, if I can call it. They make a plan with anything, with what they've got, they make a plan. So, and then that specific individual will look like a star. They make that guy shine. So, I think we will miss them for a couple of games, but I don't think it will be too long and then the new guys will come through.
Will come through.
Even if you look at the under 20s and under 21s and all of that, there's some big guys and some proper rugby players coming through.
Yeah, Cameron, I'm come eat some proper.
But even just that, if you go on a Saturday to a Palgrim game, talent is something we cannot, and I'm going to say that with a lot of seriousness, we cannot run out of talent. It's just how we manage that talent. From school up until through till URC and to under 20s, the right talent identification and then developing that talent. But for me, the problem sits, Francie, with what you mentioned earlier. We cannot play 4 games in your under 19 year. You need to play 24 or 30 rugby games for you to figure out what is this person good at.
Yeah, but now you go from Varsity Cup. It's on the TV every Monday. And it's sold out. It's packed. Everybody's having a great time. Now the under 21 competition starts. How many games on TV, firstly? How many people are watching the games? None. So somewhere along the way, we're missing the plot. Like, ons is heeltemal van die pad af.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just, it is like that. You know Varsity Cup. You guys are working Varsity Cup. It's a massive competition. It's just, what they've created is something special.
And Francie, do you like coaching? And if... Huh? And if what department or do you like to just sit back and see how things are putting stuff into place? Or
I'm with defense at the moment.
Okay. We'll never say, huh? With that boot and that physicality.
You're not pass.
Yeah.
No, man, it's... we went to a place where we were just tackling and kicking and whatever. And if we got a new defensive guy in, there would have been headbutt against Pine. And so I want us to play, man. I want us to run with the ball like
Cheetahs rugby, DNA.
So you never know what the future might hold. Who will come in? Who will go? I might go, but I mean, at the time, I thought it was the right thing to do to get the attacking part. The guys need to fall in love with attacking, brand. So I mean the players. Otherwise, they won't flip and run with the balls. Yeah. So that's where we are at the moment. The defense was horrible during the SA Cup. So
scores was high and stuff.
Yeah. So, but we'll see where we end up.
Yeah, defense winning
and
champions.
the type of coach, are you a very strict coach, or are you
as a teammate, he was very...
Yes. No, I'm trying to think. You're quite a you're a demanding person because you're a mess of France.
Yeah.
Is
it die most groot?
Okay, he's groot.
Myself, we're going on a diet from Monday, so I'll be a little bit smaller in a month's time.
So is he baie strict ernstig, of is he player-centric where you allow the players to kind of figure their stuff out throughout the week? What's a role like him here?
I think a little bit of both. It's quite... So the biggest thing for me is to treat all the guys the same, because I think all of us played under coaches where you felt like you've been treated wrongly.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for me. Within that, the guys need to express themselves firstly. And there will be stages where I'm serious, and then most of the time it's relaxed. The thing I hate the most is on Saturday, I think coaches get addicted to it, and I will never get addicted to it. I flip and hate it. On a Saturday. I hate a Saturday. I'm gonna be like that Moneyball guy that starts to sit in the corner.
Why?
When they jog onto the field and there's nothing you can, it's done. Your job's done. If they
they mess up. They
whatever, you can't do anything about it, and that kills me.
I kind of like it. I'm also coaching as well, but I kind of like it that the performance day, when it's the game day, the thing of, prepping guys, saying the right thing in the coaches chat, halftime, which giving the right messages and stuff like that. Huh? It's all planned.
No.
Can I ask you a question? How do you know what is the right message that you're giving at halftime? Or is it just the reaction that comes?
You just got to feel it, yeah. Because sometimes it is... Are you going emotional? Because sometimes they're not up for it. Because if you don't get effort and stuff, you have to be emotional, or you have to be technical as well. Where do they make the mistakes? Okay, what part can you kick and stuff like that? So it's like you got to study the first half to see what messages you can give.
I think what I've felt with this group is task-driven on halftime. Give them the plan. There needs to be a clear plan. Even if some stuff doesn't work, you just give them a clear plan. This is what we're going to do the first 10 minutes. Listen, they're going to kick the ball off. We're going to do this. And even if it's strike or do something stupid, I mean, it comes down again. I think the last 3 weeks in the SA Cup, we were more aligned. Everybody was on the same page. And I think we all just hope we can build on that into the curriculum.
And Frank, do you watch a lot of rugby? So obviously you're involved in the SA Cup, and it was Currie Cup, but do you watch a lot of URC to see if I can take something from it, or just to watch the Sharks and the Bulls and see how they go? Yeah, I do watch. I'm not like Jock and them though. Yeah. And I think that's the thing why I don't think I will be able to do this forever. Because I know if you want to do it for a long time, you need to be the best. And being the best is sitting on your laptop the whole day watching. I can't do that. I can't do it. So at the moment I'm doing it, but I mean I don't want to do it forever. Forever, yeah. Because that takes your Sunday or all of your Sunday prepping for Monday. Because Monday you have to be ready. And cut. Wanneer meneer golf speel, Rakkers? Because what these two are busy with coaching. There's no time for golf. Yeah. Especially if you paddle begin speel. Especially if a low budget, like you said, I mean, the budget is also important to get the technical guy to do the stuff for you. So you can just analyze it as well. But let's talk about URC a little bit. Did you watch a little bit of URC? Of course. Die Bulle was goed. Is quarterfinals time. Ja, sorry. Kom my nie van die WP af, he? Nooit nie. It was born in the SVD, but yeah, we're not going to was nader aan die Kaap. Ja. Hulle het gevat daar in Fransie, okay? WP het gekyk aan ons in SVD nie. Toe gaan ons straight op Gauteng toe. Van hy het net 2 gears gehad. Francie, let's quickly chat about what's coming this weekend. It's quarterfinal times. It's obviously Leinster versus Glasgow at 3:45. And then we also have the big one, South African derby. Not derby, yeah. Bulls versus the Sharks at 6:15. I mean, you played for the Sharks. are we looking for you? We kind of said the past couple of weeks it's a bit of up and down for the Sharks. What do we expect in that semi-final against Sharks and Bulls?
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh?
The Bulls also had a period where they had a slump, and I felt they went to Biarritz or something, and I feel that there something happened. I think hulle check maar Bosbraai of 'n Bosbraai.
Yeah.
And then they started doing better. I think the Bulls is at a great place at the moment. I feel the same as you. I feel the Sharks is a little bit. They're not consistent.
1 week they out
Yeah,
of park,
and then
next week.
within that, they sit with these players that can create something out of nothing. So that's the problem you have. They're going to the Bulls, and then within 10 minutes, they score 4 tries, and the Bulls are, what are they going to do in 4?
Boys,
And that's the problem. That's the thing I can see.
And I want to latch on to Francie there. They have beaten the Bulls twice in this URC campaign. They went to Loftus with a below string side, beat the Bulls at Loftus this year. Okay, even though it doesn't look exciting, it's still a good thing. And all three of us know when you play for a team and you win ugly, there's some confidence that you get through that, knowing we haven't played our best rugby, but we're still good enough to win a game.
Your preparation is up there.
So, and I just believe, for me, the factor that's going to play a big part this week is, for the first time, Wilco has been outstanding for the Bulls tight head prop.
Oh, yeah.
But Ox and Bongi scrummaging together is going to nullify that part of our game.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
So if the Bulls can't get any set-piece dominance, kick to the touch, play Jake White rugby where we go for the maul, if that is for me, it's going to be the crucial part. Oxy versus Wilco Low. And Ruckus, I apologize that a scrum of talking about a loose head prop and a tight head prop going up against each other.
I understand what you say, but now you must also remember so Munster is not a bad side. That's the one thing as well, especially in playoff rugby. Like, look what they went on from traveling across the world and beating. They beat the Stormers.
Don't.
So, and then the other problem I have, I think, with the Sharks, I think the 10 minutes extra and all of that might be a factor this weekend.
Oh, okay, the extra time.
The extra time. That they might be. Yeah. But on another point, I'm just going to throw it in there. Why do people want to have the kickoff taken out of the game?
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun.
Lekker te zien, hè?
That was cool.
That was cool.
How many times have you seen it in a rugby match?
I think I've seen it once before, Munster against Toulouse. It was a Heineken Cup semi-final. And Munster lost that one also.
Yes.
Sorry, boys.
I would go immediately, 80 minutes. If it's all level, just go to a kickoff.
Francie, wat sien vat jy?
Ja.
Wat sien so jy
Voor die
gevat het?
palen.
Yeah.
Would you take an easier
Those
one?
are the easy ones.
Nee, actually voor die palen vat.
But everyone said it looks easy, but the pressure, because everyone expects you to kick it.
Yeah, but the other two is also not. The other two, you must remember, I missed the one against the Bulls in 2007. So when I go and stand there, till today, I have a thing in my head that, please don't flip it. Please just kick this ball over on that spot. So I don't know. All of them are quite easy. You expect the kicker to kick it over. So.
Yeah. And talk about your kicking mindset. 60, 70 meters records and stuff like that. What was your mindset, and what do you think about when you have to take that, especially when it comes to 2007 Rugby World Cup, when you have to take that pressure kicks as well? What do you think about, how do you prep yourself?
You must remember in 2007, not everybody kicked from the halfway.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, kicking from the halfway, if I missed, it wasn't a big thing. Like if you miss it,
it is far, it's far
you
anyway.
verstaan wat ek sê.
Yeah.
Where later on, the people start kicking from the halfway more often. So the longer is the way, or the further
way,
yeah. It's actually easier because if you miss it, what do you have to lose?
Oh, no pressure.
Yeah, there's no pressure.
Okay.
Baie interesting.
Kon jy verskop? Okay.
Ek het die chippetjies in die goeie drabbetjies in gesit.
Interessant. So boys, Bulls, Sharkies. What are we saying?
Yeah, what are we saying?
I'm going to go with something that the Ruckers won't expect.
Okay.
And just my two reasons why I think the Sharks might be victorious, Frana, is I think the Sharks just have too much firepower from a individual talent point of view. There's so few standout players that can create something from nothing.
So you going Sharkies?
I'm going Sharkies this weekend.
Plus 50.
No seatbelt. Put on your seatbelt. It's lost.
Huh?
I'm gonna go Sharkies, and I just also believe the Bulls defense is leaked throughout this URC. It's not been a strength of us. So if that scrum and that maul is not working, then what needs to work after that? Defense. It's not been a strength of us. Okay, so now I'm saying set piece isn't working, defense is not a strength, then how can I back the Bulls in my prediction? You understand? Dit sound, het het slim geklink. Ek wil baie graag slim geklink het.
Yes. You've got a point, but for me, I'm going to back the Bulls on this one. Obviously, you spoke about it now, but the set piece, the scrums, I think it's going to be a 50-50 when it comes to the scrums. Lineouts are good from the Bulls as well, but for me, it's more about how the Sharks are playing, and they're not convincing for me.
Okay.
And I think the Bulls, especially looking at what time they're playing, altitude matters. Billy LaRue will put him into space. It's going to be sunny, it's going to be dry. Keegan Johannes is also on form. Kanan as well. And even Keegan Johannes as well, he gets the 3, gets the 2, and that's what play for rugby is all about, and defense as well. So I'm going to go with the Bulls. I'm going to back them at home. They were looking good. But that's just what I feel. I mean, we got 50-50 here. We got to throw it into your court.
So I don't know. You both have good points. I don't know if you go and you go off lineouts and scrums, hitting Andre. That raak moeilijk. And then people coming around the corner. Who's coming around the corner? Who's making the tackle on that side? Is the teams out?
No, not yet, Francie.
Not yet.
No.
So, I mean, if they go Marcel and...
That's strong, boys.
Dan gaan ek bulle gaan, but it's going to be tough. Like I said, the
Marcel's
only problem
gonna play.
I see is... I remember when we was at the Sharks, the thing was that we wanted to score 3 tries in 10 minutes. Because we had the players to do that.
Yes.
If they do something like that, the Bulls are they're not gonna. It's gonna be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
I can't pick. I can't pick. I don't know.
Let's
Let's go. I'll pick the Bulls because I know Jake.
Okay. Bulls because of Jake.
So it's 2 versus
Bulls.
Bulls. There's someone that plays for the Bulls.
Fan. And
It's Loftus. Remember, if Loftus follows, is it nie makkelijk?
I mean, you never played for the Bulls. I never played for the Bulls. He played for the Bulls, but he went against the Bulls.
Guys,
you're not going to be allowed at Loftus. You know
I know, Francie. Ruckus, I'm just allowing me to be a full professional while we're on the show. I have to take in the rugby stuff, put the dots, the T's and C's.
Yes.
I just see Andre Esterhuizen attacking the channel. Coming around the corner, it's Eben, it's Bongi, it is Vanny. Out wide, it's my Pimpy. So if I just go on that, it's by a firing power, okay?
It's also Martial this side and Kevin Hanekom this side, okay? It is what it is.
It is what it is. Happy days.
Let's quickly talk about the other one as well. That's a massive one. Leinster versus Glasgow. Obviously, Leinster fell short when it came to Investec Champions Cup. What form are they in? They've got the stars, same like the Sharks, but they're not getting the trophies.
I think they're the same as the Sharks now. So it's inconsistent. 1 week they'll play 10 minutes of good rugby, and then the next week they will struggle a bit. So
that's
but
also
it's
tough
playoff
one to
rugby.
call.
It's playoff rugby.
Franco Smith is a smart boy as well.
How much did Coach Franks learn from that Investec Champions Cup loss where they unfortunately got the 0? But I mean, there's more learning for Coach Franco and the Glasgow team in that Investec Champions Cup quarterfinal going into this game. Now Leinster has to win this one, because then it will be 3 to 4 years. There's no trophies.
Yeah, the press is on.
Yeah, but then as well, like I think Glasgow is on a good upwards curve, if I can call it like that. They played well last weekend against the Stormers. And like the way Franco uses his players is what he has done with that team is a miracle. I mean, how many internationals did he have when he started there? 2, I think 2 or 3. He's got freaking 24 at the moment, or 22.
He's got 4 Lions players that he produced.
So I mean,
and Sione Tuipulotu's back, and Hugh Jones are from fire.
I wouldn't go. I'll go Glasgow.
Are you going Glasgow?
I'll go Glasgow.
Because they did it. They played in the quarterfinal last year against the Stormers, the one, and obviously they went away and they got the
so last year they went the other way. So they beat the Stormers in the quarterfinal, then they went to Cork and beat Munster in that semi-final.
And then
they came to Loftus
so they can beat the Leinster.
I was actually Frans, die slegte story van topic af rakkers. The corner where they stopped that last maul try is waar ons in die box gesit het waar ek was. sat there and I was busy recording because I'm thinking, yeah, if I get this on video, the celebrations of the Bulls winning is going to be amazing. And then Glasgow found a way to...
Huh? Not
Yeah, but
that
So if the Bulls win and Glasgow win, it's Loftus again.
It's Loftus
Loftus
again.
Huh?
That would be interesting.
Back to back.
That would be amazing.
Let's hope for that.
Yeah, let's hope for that.
No, I can't hope for that. I think, for me personally, I think Leinster is so desperate at the moment. I mean, it's been 4 years, they haven't got the trophy. If you look at the stars, there's a whole island team with Barrett as well, with Ergie Snyman. So I'm going to go with Leinster. I think I'm going to back Leinster at home. Desperate team. And we'll see what's going to happen. So Glasgow?
I'm going to go Glasgow just because it's Coach Franco.
And you want Glasgow at Loftus?
That affiliation that I have with him, and I know how brilliant he is, and I would rather want him more to win than me saying that I think he's going to win. But I'm going to go for Glasgow, and yeah, underdog. May you be successful.
Yeah.
I'm going with the two I picked because I love the coaches. So I hope for their sake they win.
We'll see. Yeah, Frans, especially let's talk about your career as well. I mean, I said it. It's GOAT, it's legend, it's king stuff. You've got two Rugby World Cup medals. Talk us through both of them. I mean, 2019 as well, but also 2007 when you were still a lighty. That experience, but also 2019.
Yeah. Firstly, I was lucky. I think even at the beginning, somebody got injured. Bradley got injured, and I got opportunity to play at Sharks, and stuff happened quickly. But in 2007, it was, I'm young, I'll have another opportunity if it doesn't, like, let's say my mindset and Os's mindset was on two different planets.
Yes.
Where 2019, I knew it was the last one. I wouldn't expect myself to be in the next one. So I think I was more serious to 2019.
Okay.
And I stressed. That week before, I didn't sleep at all.
Really?
So, and I never stress. So I was quite stressed. It was stressful.
Yes.
It was very stressful, yeah.
And if you could rate both, which is probably not fair of me, but what was the big differences in the two World Cups that you won as a youngster, and then obviously now a much older Frans Steyn? Were there significant differences, especially the 2007 one and the 2019 one?
Yeah, I think 2007 the team was quite settled. There was a settled team, where in 2019 it was after Rassie took over with all the losses and whatever. So it wasn't I can't say it wasn't a settled team, but I mean everybody was, I can't say they were more invested more into the process, because obviously 2007 as well, but it was just different. It was a team that was built by Jake over 4 years and whatever, and this one was put together in 2 years or a year and a half. So I mean, I enjoyed 2019 more. I don't know why. I enjoyed 2019 more. I think it's because I was older. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
they're looking to you to show us the way. And
yeah, and I think you take it in a little bit more than when you freaking 19 or 20 and you're just running around being lost copy.
So 2007, you were just enjoying it and see what happens. And things happened, eh?
And yeah, I mean, Jean got in, and then you starting at 12. What was that like?
It was stressful, no?
Is it?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. No, you had Mossy, man. So Mossy sitting next to me. Yeah, he's altijd. He's always funny.
Butchie was there.
Butchie was there. So till today, I think the most underrated guy of that team was Butch James. Because just imagine you playing 10 and there's a 12 outside you that's freaking 19 or 20 years old.
So you're telling me Butch James, he's a character. Jacques Fourie is a character. And you know
Frans Steyn is a character.
Yeah, it was good fun. So I till today, I will always say I've got very much the respect that I have for Butchie and the way he handled himself next to me or helping me out and whatever. Don't write off Jacques.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were both young, not married in Paris. So
enjoy
that's Jacques. So it was fun.
but also, let's talk about 2011 as well. I mean, I was there in the quarterfinals, we lost. And then, what, 2015? Where were we? What's happening?
No, we were. I was in Japan. I watched you guys lose against Japan in Japan. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, he was 2015, I was 2011.
Was jy nie 20 was jy nie saam daai
I was 2011.
Het jy ook die kat gemaak? Oh, shame.
Yeah. No, I don't feel bad.
It's one of those things.
Was it a cut or was your love? Were you focused more on Japan? Were you focused more on France? Was it money? Was it what? Why?
So I had the thing with Heineken and Saru in 2013, 14. And then after that, 2015, the stuff with my brother happened the week we got together. Went to Heineken, said, listen here, if I'm not going to make it 3 weeks from now, I need to fly. If I'm not going to make it, please, I want to go to my family, to my parents, just spend some time with them before I have to go. And then he just said, listen, I'm not going to take you. So, I mean, that's what it was. Nothing personal. Nothing, yeah. I still think in 2011 was actually a good year.
Sure, it
was a good year.
It was this moments, and I mean, I don't know if it was unlucky in that quarterfinals. Because we had the potential, we were on a roll, especially in the pool stages as well.
I wasn't there in the quarterfinals. Remember, I got injured in that Samoa game. I tried to choke somebody on my...
Who took you out? Oh.
No, I tried to choke somebody on the ground like this and my pec muscle came loose. You know, I'm a very physical gymming.
Yes.
I gym a lot. You know, so.
You've been scala biceps.
But I always think... we should have won in 2011 as well. With the players we had. We had a bunch of nice guys. And if you look at 2019, it was almost the same, man.
I mean,
just
a good build-up
the bounce of the ball that went the other way.
Yeah. I mean, Jacques was there as well. Rassi was there, the States as well. We had a good build-up in that. Oh, but that's life. That's how it works.
And Francie, your whole career, how do you feel about it? The fact that I played for Racing 92, that drop goal that you hit at Clermont, which was me, one of the running full tilt, slotting it like that.
Still flying.
You understand? Playing 2007 Super Rugby final, playing the 2007 final, World Cup final, then coming back to the Springboks after you went abroad, 2017 with the Springboks again, then going to the 2019 World Cup, winning that. How do you sit at home and think about the career that you've had and the highs that you've had and the stuff that you've won and the moments? I think that is what for me stands out with Frans Steyn. You had brilliant moments. Freakies.
Ja, joh.
Malgoedjies. Highlight reel moments.
En,
Hoe voel je oor dit?
I don't know. I don't think about that much. I will more think about more like a game I played against John and John. JJ. Oh, Nieuweland. I don't know. I don't think about my career as a whole. It's done. I've got family at home. I've got kids that's in school. They need to do their things. They need to get to hockey, and I'm busy with that. That part of my life is done. So I don't sit at home and think about too much. But, and then I'm busy with this. So
yes.
But the memories as well, so it wasn't on the field stuff, was it off the field stuff? I mean, the camps and the team then outs.
Yeah, I think so. And then more the personal battles you had. Were specific.
Tell me your favorite personal battle that you've had over the years. Which one did you look forward to? I can't wait to play against this guy. Name drop him.
Who I wanted to play against.
Yes, who would you licked your lips for that? As exciting as nu.
I think when I was young, I always enjoyed to try and take on John. But it was difficult because when he was there, it was rocket moeilijk, nee? I don't know. There was a guy I hated to play against, that Florian Fritz from Toulouse.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
So, hy het eendag my ballas getrek en toe ek sy ballas terugtrek, toe sy vir my kwaad. So, he always, the French was... Remember when I got to France the first time, when Sebastian walk off the field, he will light a cigarette, walking off.
Yes.
Verstaan? So times have changed over the years. It was interesting.
Some good memories. Yeah, but off the field memories as well. Do you remember 2011 Rugby World Cup when we went in the safari? Yeah, we were in the middle of a safari, tents and everything. I mean, Robbie and the boys were still there. And we had this fire, okay? And they were having fun. And then Daniel is so knocked the fence over. And there's lions and hyenas. You just hear the lions and hyenas.
No.
And then they came with a
AK-47 story vertel.
Nee, ek het 'n storie oor die hele klompies, nee. So myself and Bakkies, we lying in a tent. So I'm rooming with Bakkies. Nobody's gonna cause trouble.
Ja, dis
So ek en Bakkies lê so, maar nou het hulle twee, they've got 2 stretchers. So if you go to the stretcher and you push on the side of the tent, the stretcher moves over.
Ja?
So hier hom en ek dink dit was Appies. Kom hulle aan, eenmal 'n chat. En kom hulle aan. Nou gaan een vir die ander. Nee my broer is Bakkies daai is op ons bliksem. So I sleep nicely. Nobody caused trouble with me or anything. So Eric onthou.
We took on Skalkie. So the tent is like that. So obviously he sleeps next to the tent.
Yes.
Yeah. So we coming from this side, the two of us, and storm against the tent and he falls off the bed mos now.
Okay, so
Dan tippie.
But when he gets out and then me and Appies...
So why did you do it with Bakkies?
Because we have to challenge ourselves, huh? David and Goliath battles.
Bang.
Yo, fantastic times, yo. Frans, yo, thank you very much for making the time. I know you guys are so busy in terms of prepping for the Currie Cup. I mean, and you never know what the future holds, but a fantastic job. I mean, we spoke about it a lot. We got a piece of belong with the Cheetahs, and we want the Cheetahs part of the Big Five in South African rugby. And hopefully you get the stuff, or Bloemfontein or the Cheetahs gets the stuff you want to make sure that you can go maybe qualify for URC or even Super Rugby and stuff like that. But fantastic work that you and old Springboks are doing here. I mean, Tian Liebenberg, Ruan Pienaar, all these boys that's still doing it around here. It's fantastic just to see. But thanks for making the time for us. I mean, we'll fly out for meet time with Frans Steyn.
Quickie and...
Hey.
Geen quickies, but yeah, Francie, just I think what you've achieved in the game as a player, and we always, with the show, we want to celebrate rugby in the right way. We want to make sure that we give kudos to rugby people for you've done a great job in a player and now doing a great job in rebuilding a franchise. And we want to say all the best with that project. En as jy ooit golf speel in die Kaap en jy kort mense om aan te vat, look no further.
As jy geld soek. Geld op daai kant as jy challenge soek hierso.
Thanks guys.
Thanks
for having me. I really enjoy your show and I'm a follower. I enjoy you guys.
Lekker. Great to hear, yeah.
Guys, I just want to say again, we want to thank you, SuperSport Bet, for making Behind the Ruck possible. They are proud supporters. Also today we're in the Macron Sports Hub store here in Bloemfontein that makes sure that we look really good on the show. It's been a brilliant episode.
Yes.
Episode 99. I'm truly privileged. Ruckers, I'm the short one. I'm Rudy Page.
I'm Juan de Jong.
And I'm Frans Steyn.
And the Ruck is clear.
Bye-bye. See you next week. 100. Come on.